Hey, what's up YouTube? And today I wanted to make a video about astral projection. Previously, before my YouTube channel got deleted, um, my most popular video was astral projection. Now I wanted to talk about, a couple of points in here and just exactly what is astral projection, what's the point of astral projection, especially from an Islamic or religious viewpoint, and then thirdly, how to actually do it. So first I'm going to start off with what is actually astral projection. Well, astral projection goes by a couple different names. It goes by, out of body experience. It goes by remote viewing. It goes by journeying. I know people who come from the shamanic, background. Some people call it shamanic journeying. But essentially the concept of it is the same. It is willingly allowing your soul to leave your body. Now, once you get your soul to leave your body, there's various things you can do. You can travel within the earthly plane. You can talk to angels, you can talk to spirits, or, jinn in the Arabic language. You can see your passed away ancestors. You could see the prophets. And even entities that people pray to, in pagan belief systems, because so many people put a consciousness into something, they create its existence. So you can see that. You can stay on the worldly plane, but as I said, if you're going to visit angels and etc. and stuff like that, you're probably going into the heavenly planes, which you can go into. Some people can go into the lower planes, but that's more about where your own self. That's kind of a reflection of yourself. I don't think you're going to be able to talk to the angels if you're not a good person. Um, so there's a lot of different things that people can do. A couple of stories people have in regards to, out of body experience. Sometimes when people have a near death experience, they're kind of floating above themselves and looking down on themselves. I know there was a situation of a guy who was getting surgery, and when they put him under, he was kind of floating above his body looking down, and he just thought it was a dream. But one thing he noticed is the doctor, he kept moving his arms, elbows like this, so he thought this is just a weird dream. Why would a doctor do that? So he told the doctor afterwards, and the doctor says, oh no, I always do that. I don't want to point with my fingers because I don't want to get bacteria on my fingers, so I point with my elbows. So even the CIA, they were pretty big into remote viewing. There was a couple experiments done on remote viewing. There's a documentary called Third Eye Spies if you want to learn more about that. um, there's a lot of things you can do with remote viewing. Now, what I want to bring up is Islamically, what you guys should know, or maybe if you don't know this, and it's in the Quran, is that every time that we fall asleep, God specifically says that He takes our soul up with Him into heaven, okay, or wherever He takes it to, okay. So the concept that the soul is separate from the vessel, which is the body, it shouldn't be unique to people who come from a religious background. That's something that we should already know, so that shouldn't be complicated to you guys. Now it goes into, so what exactly is the purpose of it? Well, I think it can just be a purpose for exploring. That obviously everybody knows that. I think it can be, you know a tool to connect with your ancestors, if you want to connect with people who passed away, if you want to connect with sages or saints or walis or prophets, to learn from them. I think that's great. If you want to connect with your angels or your spirit guides, spirit guides in the Quran, it talks about Allah assigned as angels. Some of your spirit guides, they can be your ancestors who passed away, even pets who you really took care of. They still follow you. So you can communicate with them. You can further your knowledge in that sense. You know, you could even emotionally, you could even spiritually heal yourself, depending on if you talk to the right people in that realm. There's a lot of things you can do. If you're trying to use it for bad things, ideally your spirit guides wouldn't even let you use it for those things. But there's a lot of cool things that you can do with it. For people who are just atheists and don't really believe in the supernatural, I think this is something that is evidence in the supernatural. And the fact that there's been science experiments conducted where people were able to remote view and find a number on a piece of paper that was hidden, or even the CIA, the government intelligence agencies using people who could remote view. And it just shows that the supernatural is real. It shows that God is real. It shows that there's something out there that's more than just, science. And even science to a certain degree. I mean, even quantum physics, it suggests the fact that there are different dimensions that are living amongst us. And, it proves the jinn, it proves angels. And, there is a spiritual aspect for it. Yeah, you can explore, you can see stuff. I mean, you could also do that in real life. Um, we have TVs nowadays. I mean, if you want to watch a nature documentary or something, it's almost like you're there. But whatever, you get the point. But I think there's a more spiritual aspect behind it, where you're able to kind of connect to the other dimension, and through connecting to the other dimension, whether that's a barzakh or whatever you want to call it, you're now able to enhance your spirituality. Might be able to talk to your ancestors. You might be able to talk to the angels and the prophets, and further enhance your knowledge of God and religion, and so on and so forth. So now, exactly how do you do it? So I'm going to give you my personal experience on how to do it. I don't think I'm like a master of it by any means. But one person I will reference you to is a YouTuber by the name of Ryan Cropper, Cropper. He was kind of one of the first guys that I really watched to learn how to do it. Personally, how I do it is I like to go fall asleep, have a lucid dream, and then from my lucid dream, I go into an astral projection. But essentially, what you do, the technique to do it is you essentially lie down, and you just kind of don't move. And after a while, your physical body believes that it's in a sleeping state. However, your consciousness, because you're still awake, if you don't move, your body kind of thinks it's asleep. So you can kind of remove yourself from your body. Some people do a rope technique where they envision their soul grabbing a rope and pulling itself out of their body. They envision their soul body or their astral body kind of rolling out of their physical body. I personally use binaural beats when I first did it. That's just, you put in headphones and you listen to these beats that kind of put you in a kind of a certain state that makes the process easier. But I mean, I think there's a lot of things that you should do before you get involved into astral projection. I mean, people want to do it because it's cool. Let's be real, and I totally get that. But before you ever decide, well, I want to talk to the angels, I want to talk to the prophets, I want to, see Mount Everest or whatever. I mean, first fix yourself. I mean, are you praying 5 times a day? Do you fast? Do you give charity? Are you trying to improve yourself, whether it's personality wise or any addictions you might have? Whether it's alcohol or weed or any drugs that you're doing, are you trying to, finish that? Or do you read the Quran every so often, a couple pages a day, a couple pages a week? There's a lot of things that you could do to improve yourself before you actually decide to astral project. But yes, it's a very real thing. And everything comes down to intention. Exactly what are you trying to use it for? That's up to you. But there's a lot of uses for it. You know what I mean? And I think it can really enhance someone when they're trying to follow the spiritual path. That's something that always gets brought up. It's that's a big thing nowadays, is astral projection. At the time when I did it, it was kind of just, there wasn't even YouTube videos about it. So it just goes to show how the world is kind of changing. But yeah, that's what I have to say. I mean, I always get a lot of questions about that. My thing is that try to do the try to do the rest of religion before you focus on astral projection. I mean, it's not that important. I don't even always have the need to do it, because it's like I'd rather travel in real life or be, focus on my actual, what's in front of me, before I focus on the astral realm, so to speak. But, again, I mean, whether you're, Islam specifically says that your soul is taken by God every time you fall asleep. A lot of people have these experiences. There's been scientific evidence of it happening. I mean, there's been intelligence agencies who use it. Ultimately it is something real, whether you come here as a pagan or, and I shouldn't say a pagan because sometimes they believe in that. Well, you just come here as an atheist who doesn't believe in religion or God or the supernatural. I mean, this is something that you could even do yourself. So, just be aware of the world that's out there. And thank you very much. And I'm sorry about all my videos being deleted, so I'm going to try to redo them. Thank you.